as we take away the demand for these animal products, the breeding will decrease to the point where we're no longer breeding these animals to exploit them and to kill them unnecessarily. That's what we do with them. I'm not saying if everyone went vegan overnight,
do with them at that
they
point?
wouldn't. Are you okay?
Put them in the wild.
They wouldn't exist.
How would they just stop existing? They're
Are
going
you
to
not-
continue to breed.
Why would no?
They're
Why
either going to die a horrible
we
death in the wild or
artificially
continue
breed?
to breed.
We
What do you mean?
artificially
You
breed them.
Kill the rest of the cows.
Hold on.
and
Are you
then-
not? Are you?
I
So
don't understand.
we artificially breed
Right,
these
so
animals.
the cows fuck the other cows.
No. See, that's. All right, man. So, appreciate you stopping by. You have the pizza, that's all right, though. So, I'm going to start by defining veganism, and I just want you to tell me what you disagree with, all right?
Okay.
All right, so veganism is an ideology that rejects the commodification of animals. That means we don't want to use them, abuse them, or kill them for food, clothing, entertainment, or anything else.
Okay.
So what about that do you not align with? I'm assuming you're not vegan, based on the pizza.
Yes, correct.
So what about that definition do you not align with or do you disagree with?
I would say that as far as food goes, it's relatively important. I think that, humans are biologically omnivores, right? And so you require a certain percentage of your diet to be comprised of meat. And at the end of the day, if you're farming that meat, ethically, I don't disagree that there are terrible factory farm industries in this country, but there are plenty of people that do it in a regenerative way, and they do it in a way that, is much better than the cows being out in nature and getting killed by a lion or fucking whatever predator they have, I think that a death of a tiger ripping your Achilles tendon out and then, disemboweling you while you're still alive is much worse than getting a bolt put into your head when you're a couple years old and you've grown up in a field where, there's plenty of food for you to eat and no predators, there's fences, and you're just around other beings of your same species, and you die a very peaceful death, and you wind up providing nutrients to what at the end of the day is the human species is the top of the food chain, right? I mean,
do you mind if I? Sorry,
yeah. Oh,
just really
absolutely,
quick.
sure.
So you mentioned a couple things. So so we're on the same page.
Right.
The only thing you disagree with is the food part of that definition. So you don't think we need to use
I
animals
don't
for
think-
clothing or
I
entertainment?
think for aesthetics purposes, it is pretty shitty to use that. I think that if you're looking at Eskimo tribes or
No, I'm talking about
native
people who
areas
have resources.
that require it for survival, it's a different story.
Yeah, I'm talking about you and me who have
right.
resources.
So people that have resources in a developed nation, I think absolutely you probably shouldn't be you can buy whatever.
Right,
But
because it's aesthetic. You said because it's kind
at
of
the end of the
needless,
day,
right?
I do still think that there is a degree of pollution that goes into manufacturing some of these things that are synthetic
Well,
versus natural.
yeah. Just to
And
stay on
so-
topic, so we can talk about environment. That's a
right.
totally separate thing.
Right.
But just
for the morals of the animal itself, I agree.
No
I would say
entertainment,
that,
no clothing. Okay.
I wouldn't want it for clothing. I wouldn't want it for aesthetic purposes. For the purpose of having a nutritional diet that is affordable.
Well, hold on. Time out.
I
Let's
think
start.
that's
Yeah.
incredibly important to have meat in the food industry.
Sure.
Period.
So we can.
Full
I'm gonna.
stop.
I'm gonna address that
Factory
as
farms are terrible. I agree.
well.
but
Well, hold on. So just.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't put a full halt on meat
Sure.
altogether and say you can't eat meat at all. You can't eat any of these animal products at all. You know?
So I'm just talking about you and me, right? Forget about government regulation or whatever. So, so I'm gonna make an assumption because you said that you say no go for food, for clothing or entertainment, is because that's mostly a want, right? In your mind, we need animal products for food. We don't need them for clothing and for entertainment. Is that accurate?
I think that that when you try to manufacture or create another source of some of the nutrients that you require in a diet, you wind up contributing to environmental demise and natural demise, because you wind up disrupting the natural order of how, species that don't live in a society operate, right? Nature is quite brutal, and there's a lot of bloodshed, and it's not very morally aligned to like some type of like higher like plane of thinking.
Sure. I'm just we could go all over that. I'm just trying to one step at a time, baby steps here. So, is that an accurate description that I said? You're against clothing and entertainment using animals for?
Correct.
Because it's a want, and in your mind, eating animals is a need, right? Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Simplicity.
I would say that it's not necessarily a need. I would say that it's easier, and that for an individual to obtain these nutrients in a way that would, be easy for them as an individual. So on the individual scale, right? Like, let's say these people live in, rural Montana, and they don't have a fucking grocery store that's 15 minutes down the road, right? They need to drive 3.5 hours through snow, through fucking whatever, to get what they need. And like, there's a 4-foot snowstorm, they're fucked unless they can hunt an animal and be able to obtain that meat and use it.
Sure, I'm just talking about you and me. Yeah. Let's focus. Yeah, let's focus on the
but
conversation.
Still in Western society.
Sure. But
like any regulation within that state.
I'm not talking about regulation.
To like a person that lives in the city of that state.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty wrong to have that encompass everybody, because not everybody lives the same.
So we are not talking about regulation at all. I'm talking about your values.
You should be.
Yeah.
Vegan,
You. So I'm no. So I'm talking.
Everybody.
No. So I'm talking to you, and I'm trying to understand your values, right? That's why I'm asking, right? So I didn't say we should government regulate everyone to go vegan right now. I'm saying you, the person I'm talking to, and I want to understand your values, right? Okay. So now that we have a consensus on the clothing and on the entertainment, now we can talk about the food portion. You said that factory farming is fucked, right? Or you said something that it's immoral.
Yeah, I would say that having an animal in like a space that it can barely move around is inarguably wrong, right?
Okay. So that's my first reason why you should be vegan. So if you are against factory farming, over 90, I think it's between 95 and 98% of
being
factory
vegan
farm
is not the solution. I think that pushing a regenerative farming agenda rather than a being vegan and don't consume these things agenda would be more beneficial to society in the long term. I think that if you're saying, hey, you need to be vegan, you can't eat these things, a lot of these people become malnourished because they get sucked into like a vegan ideology, and that's all they fucking eat.
Hold on, we go into that, but the point I'm making is, if you, based on your own values, are against how animals are treated 98% of the time when it comes to getting products, you're holding a Domino's pizza where they source the animals from. So my point is, if you are against,
it's the only place that's open.
Well, but my point is, Taco Bell's open, Taco Bell's vegan options. But if you are against,
I'm not driving. I'm not walking. I'm talking.
Well, look, my point is, if you are against that, right? So that's already why you should be vegan, why you should avoid purchasing stuff like that, right? And I'm glad you said that factory farming is immoral. So. Or you're against factory farming.
Right.
So when it comes,
saying that by purchasing it, I'm inherently contributing to like this whole thing, right?
Well, you are. Yeah, you absolutely are contributing to factory farming, but also you're contradicting your own values.
Right. So they already bought the cheese. They already bought everything that.
But that's how supply.
Is vegan related, right?
But that's how supply and demand works, right? So the more you demand it, the more they supply it.
It's fucking Domino's. They're gonna have plenty of supply. I don't understand.
Well, so. When you go to...
This is probably the first time I bought Domino's in a year, maybe, dude.
No, but
I mean, like, it's like...
My point is, right,
Could you not, like, buy from somewhere that's a little bit more prestigious? Like, frequently I get Peel Pizza a lot with my girlfriend, right? And I know that they specifically source a lot of their ingredients from local farmers and people.
I'm still against.
Ethically,
I'm still against regenerative. I'll explain why.
Okay. You don't want individuals to create a farming equation that is regenerative and actually becomes carbon neutral.
Yeah,
in the long term.
So I could
want
explain.
Individuals to do that.
Yeah, so I could explain. So when we're talking about veganism, right? Even on a regenerative or whatever a regenerative farm is. So like I think you mean like pasture, like grass-fed farm essentially.
I mean, like, yeah, essentially you have every animal, I mean, you raise all of your animals together. There's cows and chickens in the same pasture. You know, the cows or the chickens eat the bugs off the cows. It's exactly how it would be in a natural setting. You're essentially emulating nature in your backyard, right? And then at some point along the line, the cow becomes healthy enough for whatever type of meat you decide, right? A burger cow can be old as fuck. You can have the burger cow die when he's like had a good life, you know? If you want a sirloin steak from this cow, you probably have to kill it when it's like 2 or 3. But at the end of the day, you're killing it with either a bullet straight to the brain or a
would you
bolt
would you want to die that way?
And it does. Yeah, dude.
No. So would you?
I don't want to be eaten by a fucking
No.
lion.
If you had 3 options, which is you get eaten by a lion in the wild, somebody shoots you at a 1/5 to a 10th of your lifespan, or you get to take your chances and live out to old age. Which one would you want?
I would, as a sentient being, obviously
The
want
third
to
option.
live out to my old age.
So then what's the justification for killing these animals in the first place, right? Because you're acting as if there's 2 options. Either these animals die in the wild, which all livestock, cows, chickens, pigs, they're not wild. We breed them into existence. So we breed them by the billions, so they're not wild. So that's not even an option, but you're presenting
but
it.
there are wild cows, and we've taken those genetics to create domesticated cows.
Right. But I'm saying that the cows that we eat are not wild.
These domestic cows were created. People were killing these cows in a natural setting and eating them for their meat.
But I'm talking about now. I'm talking about, because you're framing it in a way that's kind of inaccurate, but even with that, right, even if I grant...
It's not inaccurate.
They're not wild anymore. They're not wild cows. So it's not... Yeah.
Okay,
so it's not like we're saving them from a death in the wild. We're breeding them just to abuse them and kill them.
But you're not abusing them. They're living a very pain-free and fulfilling
No. I know
life.
in your...
You give them plenty of food. You give them plenty of
water. Factory farming or in your idealistic farming?
Idealistic farming.
But so we could get into that. But my point is...
But we're not... We can't get into that because you want to loop all of it into factory farming, and that's not the case. There are plenty of people
even
own
with
farms that sell these cattle. They're grass-fed cattle. It's becoming popular now because people understand that when you have grain-fed cattle, you have these cattle are fed grain that is grown in the United States, and all grain that is grown in the United States is sprayed with tons of shit that's fucking terrible for you, and it gets into the cattle, and so the meat winds up being worse for your general overall health. And there's a lot of things, a lot of conditions that can be attributed to just getting proper nutrition and getting this.
But do you notice how you're treating these animals? You're treating individuals as purely from your own benefit.
That like a cow is an individual.
Because they're sentient. You said it yourself. They're sentient.
So a cow has sentience.
Yeah. All mammals, all birds are declared. Not me. So declared by the Cambridge. So So intelligence is different than sentience.
Right.
So you could have somebody who's severely mentally challenged who still has sentience.
Okay.
Right. So a cow may not be able to speak like us,
but the cow can have the feeling of like, oh, somebody's doing something bad to me. Is what you're saying?
Oh yeah. They feel. They have emotions.
Bad, right.
Yeah. So if a cow sees a cow in front of them get broken in the head and bleed out, they may not be able to intellectually understand everything that's happening.
Happen in front of the cow.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
They bring them to the slaughterhouse.
So how a slaughterhouse works is there's a kill line. So they line them all up. They bring them in one after another. And especially with chickens and pigs, they get slaughtered in front of each other. With sheep, they get slaughtered. You could look up. I'll give you documentaries. They get slaughtered in front of each other.
But in other places, they don't.
So
do it in
again,
front of the other
98% of animals.
They don't. I mean, they
Okay,
separate
98% of the animal products we get.
If this animal starts kicking or fucking seizing,
so 98% of the animal products. So 98% of the animal products are factory farm. Even in your idealistic farming, which by the way, environmentally speaking, we would need. I think it was like the amount of land of like 2 North Americas to be able to grass-fed all these animals and give them enough space in like the idealistic. So we don't have the land for it.
What if it happened across the globe and everybody could trade this shit independently and it?
What do you mean trade? So to
if
feed.
Everybody did it because it's the most sustainable. It's the most.
It's not the most sustainable.
Yes, it is.
It's the least sustainable to meet the supply. No.
Yes,
So to meet the demand of animal products.
They could feed themselves.
So to meet, in cities, the most populated areas are people like New York City and Boston.
Don't live in a city.
That's where the most people are.
Like, just don't. dude.
Okay, so if everyone in cities went to middle of Texas, guess what? It would just turn to another city. The most populated. There's not enough land.
Spread out.
Dude, there's not enough land. The most people live in cities. So there's not enough land.
In a city, then you can choose this ravagely unhealthy
my
diet
question
that
is,
has been proven to promote tumor growth.
Well, red meat and processed meats, yeah, absolutely.
No.
Processed meat is a class 1 carcinogen.
That study was incorrect.
Processed meats.
That study was incorrect.
Processed. There's there's multiple studies.
No,
Forget about.
There aren't multiple studies.
No, there are.
There's one study that everybody points to, and it has been proven to be incorrect.
Hold on.
Yes.
Processed meat.
You're
wait. Processed meat is a class 1. No, hold on. Processed meat is a class 1 carcinogen. But separate, and that's a fact. That's labeled on the list of carcinogen.
Carboxylates.
Do you have meat?
But
I do have
what kind of meat?
pepperoni.
Do you? I'm so proud of you.
But
like
so separate from the nutrition, we could argue nutrition all day.
Yeah.
But what I'm asking is, right?
Okay.
Assuming that
So
both.
you don't want good nutrition.
So
you don't
vegan
care about
diets
health.
can be perfectly adequate for
No,
all
they
stages of health.
can't be,
Yes,
dude.
it is. Do you have any peer-reviewed studies showing it can't?
Look at the numbers.
Do you have any peer-reviewed studies?
Oh, I added a whole bunch of fucking synthetic vitamin C to this fucking bullshit.
Synthetic oranges have vitamin C.
you've
What are you
got
talking
plenty
about?
of fucking.
One orange has enough
you've got
vitamin C for your
plenty
whole
of
day.
this, and it's like, dude, like
You don't need. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. Take.
right.
Hold on a second.
So, for example,
My question is, that was a horrible
do
example.
you need peptides? Do you need like some of these things that are critical to the digestion of certain?
No.
things?
So again, when we're looking at nutrition,
Or
you're
is it-
going to have to provide empirical evidence. I have empirical evidence. I have
Okay.
peer-reviewed studies.
Okay.
I'm assuming you don't.
Okay.
But even if you did, you don't have. There is no study. I
There's
have
no
background in
study.
nutrition. There's no study that says you can't be vegan and healthy.
Dude, I wish.
Right? There's no study that says you can't be vegan and healthy. There isn't,
Uh-huh.
right? You can't be plant-based and healthy. That study doesn't exist because it's
Oh,
not
right,
true,
right.
As long as
Okay.
it's appropriately planned, you can be perfectly adequate, right?
Okay.
Perfectly healthy on a vegan diet. So my question is, when we don't have to breed these animals, when we don't have to kill them in the first place, what is your justification for killing them at all? Right, because they are sentient.
Right, because
they do
we're
suffer.
at the top of the food chain, right? And so there's a certain level of
But we don't have to
of
kill them.
trauma that goes into a natural order in this world.
But this
That
isn't
is-
a
that
natural
is
order. We've
period-
created a system where we
period,
breed
end
these
story.
animals into existence. It's not a natural order. We don't do this for survival.
not-
We do this for taste pleasure. We do it out of selfishness.
So what do you want to attack the fact that there's too many people instead? Like I
No,
don't.
we don't have-
understand.
we'd actually have
because
more-
that's the only reason that you need to do it in mass in this way, right?
Well, no,
The
but-
only reason that
right.
you need to make a factory farm is to feed a whole fucking city
But
of
we don't
people.
have to make
if
a factory
everybody
farm.
lived on their own farm and killed their own deer and bred their own cattle and bred their
Right.
own pigs.
But the reason
and
why I
bred their
created
own
factory
chickens
farming
and
is-
ate their own eggs, we wouldn't have this issue.
So the reason
Right?
why we
Correct
created
or not
factory
correct?
farms, factory farms is for food security, right?
Uh-huh.
The whole hunting your own food is all good and great until you can't and then you starve, right? The reason why we have industrial
Right, and so then
food
maybe
practices.
You should die. I mean, I don't
No,
know. I don't
my point is
understand.
there's
Like,
a better
maybe
alternative.
You shouldn't carry on the gene pool.
No, there's a better alternative, which is we can have food security and we don't have to create a system of exploitation and abuse
Right.
for these
And
animals.
so what winds up happening is these people are trying to create this artificial food.
What do you mean artificial food?
somehow
What's artificial about lentils?
equivalently sustainable to natural food, right?
What's artificial about oats and
so
lentils?
then they wind up making fucking literal cancer-causing carcinogens like in
What's
fucking seed oil
artificial?
and
Hold on,
nonsense. Like,
forget
it's-
about
it's
seed.
retarded.
Wait, forget about. I'm not pro seed oil. Hold on, forget about seed oils. What's
It's in every fucking
what's
vegan food
that's
ever
not-
created.
oats and
What are you
lentils?
talking
Oats and
about?
lentils.
Seed
What?
oil.
There's no oats. There's no seed oil in oats and lentils.
Oh, so you eat oats and lentils all
I eat
day?
a lot of oats. I eat a lot of lentils. I eat a lot of vegetables. I eat a lot of fruit that don't have seed oils. I actually don't eat any seed oils.
Oats and lentils provide you enough nutrition to sustain
No,
your
you're
day-to-day
saying that
life?
seed oils are
Is
in
that why you're
everything?
in the middle
Hold on,
of
hold on.
the fucking street,
You're
like,
saying that
doing
there's
this?
seed oils in every vegan food, and when I'm just
saying
pointing
there's
out.
seed oils in most vegan
No,
foods,
in
and
processed
for you to
vegan
say
foods.
that, like,
Hold on, there's
red
seed
meat is
oils.
somehow more
Hold on, there's
carcinogenic
seed oils in
than
your
seed
Domino's
oils,
pizza.
like,
Hold on.
It's ridiculous.
There's
because
seed
people
oils-
have been eating red meat
hope
for
the
fucking
steak on that.
centuries.
There's seed oils
and
in
seed
your.
oils have been created in the last 50 fucking years.
So if you're so
like,
concerned-
you're
Hey,
an idiot if you
Guy,
think that
dude,
red meat is
if
somehow bad for
you're
you.
so concerned about seed oils, why there's seed oils in your Domino's pizza? You're literally touting about
barely.
something that you're. No, there's
Okay,
seed.
great.
But-
Dude,
but-
it's a Domino's pizza.
Okay, yeah, it's
a
garbage.
cheat. It's like,
Right.
I'm at the bar with my friends.
Right. So
I'm getting a pizza.
when we're talking about nutrition,
It's
right?
just
Hold on.
not
When we're talking about
it's just
nutrition,
not the same
there is
thing.
unhealthy processed vegan foods. There's unhealthy non-vegan foods, right?
And so when
but
I'm at home,
what I'm
on my
talking about
day-to-day
is
life,
morality.
during
What
the
I'm
work
hold on.
week,
What I'm
I
talking
eat
about.
normal food.
What I'm
and
talking
I eat
about.
a lot of red meat.
Right. What I'm talking about is the justification for killing these animals when we don't need to. We don't need to create a system of exploitation and abuse.
In your mind?
Because you're
I don't
causing
understand
harm and death and suffering
But
to a
it's not-
sentient
it's
animal.
Not suffering. It's not
So
suffering.
okay, so in
How is
98%
it suffering?
in 98% of the factory
How are they
farms there is suffering, but separate from suffering.
In the factory
In your
farms,
idealistic farming,
Okay,
which
let's say
which
that
two
everybody does this 2% that you purport, right? Everybody does this 2%. And
so minus the suffering. Hold on,
these
so mine.
animals don't suffer
Yeah.
until they die.
So
right?
when you say until they die, so they're killed, even with grass-fed farms, they're killed at a fraction of their lifespan. We're talking a fifth to a tenth of their lifespan.
Being used for. Like
No,
I already
almost.
said, it depends on the type of
So
meat that they're being used
meat.
for. If you wanna get the most out of your cow, and you wanna get sirloin steak, you wanna get grass-fed fucking whatever, then yeah, you got to kill it at like 1 to 2 years old.
Most animals are killed at a very, very young age, right? So.
And so these things are bred to die, essentially, right?
Right, but what I'm saying is, what's the
And so
justification for breeding?
What are you going to do with these animals if
You don't have to
if you
breed
don't
them.
kill
You just said they're bred to die.
Yeah.
Do you know what the solution is?
So what
Don't breed them to kill them, right? So
They exist already. What are you supposed to do about
I'm saying
it?
in a vegan world they wouldn't. We
You
wouldn't
just
breed
fucking
them.
get- So you want to roll back time and somehow like make
Not
it
roll
so
back
that
time. I'm
nobody's
saying
ever bred
as people
cows?
take away the demand for
they're
animal
already
products,
here.
so as people take
So
away
what
the
are you
demand
gonna
for
do with the
animals,
cows? Just let 'em
I'm
run
explaining.
free?
I'm explaining. I would love to answer.
Okay.
As we take away the demand for these
Yeah.
animal products, the breeding will decrease to the point where we're no longer breeding these animals to exploit them and to kill them unnecessarily. That's what we do with them. I'm not saying if
And
everyone
so
went
then
vegan
what
overnight,
do you do with them at that
they
point?
wouldn't. Are you okay?
Put them in the wild?
They wouldn't exist.
How would they just stop existing? They're
Are
going to
you
continue
not-
to breed.
Why would no?
They're
Why?
either going to die a horrible death
We
in the wild or
artificially
continue
breed-
to breed.
we
What do you mean?
artificially
So you
breed them.
Kill the rest of the cows.
Hold on.
and
Are you
then-
not? Are you?
I don't
So
understand.
we artificially breed
Right,
these
so
animals.
the cows fuck the other cows.
No. See, that's what I think you're missing. Humans. So I don't. Have you ever
They
seen
jack the cows off.
Yeah,
get
and
the
then they
skin,
shove it
put
into the
in.
cow.
Yeah, 'cause
So
it's
we-
easier.
No,
But
we-
left on their own, they would breed naturally.
They only exist because we breed them. They wouldn't exist if we didn't breed them.
They would breed
They
naturally.
wouldn't
on
be
their
there.
own.
They would. There
They
was.
would
There is
breed
no
naturally
natural.
on
They're
their own. Would
domesticated
they not?
animals. No.
Would they not breed naturally on
They're
their own?
domesticated
They have
animals.
no sex drive
They
at all.
wouldn't exist.
What are you talking about, dude? They don't just disappear into
my-
nothingness. It's a cow.
We breed
Like, what are
them.
you talking
We
about?
breed them into it. It's like, okay, if your parents
Okay.
didn't give birth to you,
Yes.
you wouldn't exist.
Right.
So that's what we do with cows. We breed them into existence. If we
Right.
stopped doing that, they wouldn't be there.
But they still fuck and produce baby
Oh my
cows.
God, how are you? Dude, I don't understand how
They
you're
have
not putting the two
hormones
pieces.
that say, hey, you
No,
need to
they
fuck
don't
this
fuck
thing.
because we put them in captivity and we
only
breed them.
breed them because you get a higher percentage of getting
Because it's an
cows
industry. Yes.
If you
They're
breed them
domesticated. It's an
artificially.
industry.
If you leave them alone,
So all we do is we
they
create
don't breed
less of a
artificially. They breed naturally.
Oh my God.
Like
Okay,
what?
go ahead, man.
Catch me out. So,
This guy's not listening at all.
okay.
Oh yeah.
No,
I'm
you
not
literally are not
listening at all.
understanding.
So if you don't listen, you never learn.
That's a fact. Some
That
people
is a
listen
fact.
just to respond, and this is what this guy's doing.
So, as a vegan, are you a vegan?
Yes.
Okay. What is the most like prolific part about being vegan? Like, what is the?
Like the whole essence of veganism?
Yeah.
Well, we reject the exploitation and commodification of animals, right? Sentient animals. Right? We don't want to use them, abuse them, or kill them for food, clothing, entertainment, or anything else.
Okay, so from the beginning, as us as Neanderthals, how much you want to go back? Like much farther than a few million years that we've been here. Fuck the pyramids and all that. Our teeth, our makeup, is made to ingest
It's a predator design. You have eyes on the
meat,
front, you have
but
hands.
for the majority would have learned a lot of vegetables have like this lecithin or
Lectin.
yeah, that's like not really good for us. Like Brussels sprouts, good. There's a few things in that family like good for us. One thing I do know, the owner of Sukasa right there. I don't know if you know it.
Really?
Hell yeah, then you should probably tell. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Okay, please don't put that in.
Yeah,
it was a joke.
it's already recorded.
You gotta be vegan.
I have too many health issues.
It's
I'm
too
22
late.
and I tried, and then
I can help you, but
Hey, well check out this golden retriever. Right? It's my brother's dog.
Oh, your brother's
Yeah, dude.
so just to address a couple things you said. So thousands of years ago, millions of years ago, we had to do a lot of things to survive, right? Yes, at some point we did.
Can I give my rant real quick?
Hold on.
Chickens thing
Sorry, I'm
gets me so
Oh,
sad.
that grunt, I mean, shit.
Gets me so mad.
You have the floor.
Okay, please don't put me in that.
you're totally going in. So,
We're gonna clip
so
that.
here's the thing, right? So we had to do a lot of things to survive, right? We had to kill neighboring tribes. We had to kill animals. We had to eat them, probably raw a lot of times. We had to cook them, right? We were trying to survive. Humans are omnivorous, which means we can eat one or the other or both. We don't have to eat both.
Right, but if you
right?
thrive
Hold-
on one of the food sources more
What kind
than
of
the
pizza
other
did
one,
you get, though?
Yeah. So.
I love pepperoni. I'm looking at it like I do dig it. But
So just like how when we used to have to hunt, we didn't have heating in our homes, we didn't have cars, we didn't have any technology
didn't get no
besides
head,
what we create.
nothing.
Right. I know you're into the blowjob, so yeah, that's the thing. Just for context, he wish I got a blowjob for Christmas. But so my point is, just because we used to do these things a long time ago, doesn't actually justify and make it right to do today. Right?
but it does for people that still live in a world where
Sure, and
that's
for
what they
people,
need to do.
right, and for
Europe
people,
is much more like conscious
regular-
on the way that people eat and how they eat and how they source their food and whether they do like eat like a goat or a cow. It's lived its full life and it's had its great times.
well, when you say the full life, the thing is that's actually almost impossible. The reason why that is, in order to get the meat to be edible, you have to kill the animal at a young age, at a fraction of their lifespan. Because as they get older, the meat gets tougher and it's more risk of disease, right? So you have to kill, you're practically, especially when we're talking about
don't have
restaurants,
to. You
or,
don't have to.
Well,
you,
the
no,
only
no,
difference I know is-
the meat that we
don't have
eat are their baby age, yes.
Kobe beef, like for instance,
incorrect.
A5 Kobe beef. It's from a certain part of Japan. They listen to Mozart and other classical music artists. They are massaged. They are like fed the finest. Like they have the best life, I guess,
certain ways
as
to
so
raise
a
older
cow
cows to
could
make the meat
be raised.
But here's my question.
That's the only way. Like
But here's my question, man. Would you want, if you had that great life, let's say you were massaged, let's say you were listening to Mozart, would you want to be shot in the head at a fraction of your life?
I'd rather that.
Especially if you had such a great life, right? Because I wouldn't want to be killed, right? I would want to live,
I'd probably want to live too.
right? I'm sure we would all want to live.
Plug,
So,
actually. Can you ask a question?
hello, you should be vegan.
You hear it here first. Are you like 21 and 17
The,
right
the
now?
point is, right? I don't want to, look, clearly we're not going to get anywhere, but what I'll leave you with this, right? If we don't have to, right? And there's no necessity to,
Right.
then
But there
I don't
is-
see a
but
good
there is a
justification.
necessity to.
There is no necessity to. You could be
Right.
perfectly
So
healthy
you
on a
could
vegan diet.
thrive, but you
Yes.
could thrive.
I've been vegan for
better
almost
on
7
a
years.
carnivore diet.
That's not true. Show me
It is-
one peer-reviewed study
it
that
is
shows
true.
a carnivore
It is
diet.
true.
Absolutely not.
It is
Omnivorous diet, maybe I'll
It
give you,
is true.
but a carnivore diet, absolutely
It
not.
is true.
The King's dying,
is true.
bro.
Dude, show
is
me.
true.
Do you have one peer-reviewed study?
Do I need to?
Yes, you do. That's scientific
I
evidence.
have one peer-reviewed
To
study.
show the benefits of
Yeah,
vegan diets?
show me,
Yeah,
show
I'll
me.
show you.